We are conditioned to look for the biggest financial crimes in the glass towers of Wall Street. We fear the complex derivatives and the hedge funds that shake global markets. But what if the most devastating heist in history was not hidden in a boardroom, but buried in a dusty city ledger? Consider the city of Bell, California. To the casual observer, it was just another working-class community, unremarkable and quiet. Then came 1993. Robert Rizzo arrived, promising to be the savior the city needed. He brought a reputation for fiscal toughness and a mandate to slash waste. The residents welcomed him as a steward of their limited resources. They saw a man who spoke the language of austerity and efficiency. Every budget report he presented was a masterclass in calculated deception, designed to build trust while he laid the groundwork for his true intent. He spoke of sacrifice, he spoke of duty, and he moved through the city offices with an air of absolute authority. He was the man who would fix the books. In reality, he was simply waiting for the right moment to turn the entire city into his own private vault. By 2005, Rizzo had spent over a decade tightening his grip on the municipal machinery. He knew that true power did not come from public approval, but from the fine print of legal statutes. He proposed a shift, moving the city from a general law designation to a charter city. It was presented as a move toward greater local control and operational efficiency. The public did not look closely. They did not attend the meetings. When the special election date arrived, the city remained asleep. Only 336 people cast a ballot. That tiny, unremarkable group of voters unwittingly handed him the keys to the treasury. With the charter status secured, Rizzo executed his masterstroke. He drafted the new city charter to include a provision that stripped away the state-mandated caps on his own compensation. There were no more oversight committees to answer to. No more public scrutiny of his pay scale. He had effectively written his own laws. He was no longer just the city manager. He was the architect of a system designed solely to funnel tax dollars directly into his own pockets. The cage was unlocked, and the extraction was about to begin. With the legal floodgates wide open, the transformation of the payroll was immediate and aggressive. Rizzo began to inflate his base compensation with a systematic, chilling precision. By 2010, the numbers had moved beyond the realm of public service into something else entirely. He was pulling in a base salary of nearly $800,000 a year. To understand the scale of this extraction, look at the hierarchy of American governance. The President of the United States earned half that amount. Rizzo was effectively paying himself double the salary of the leader of the free world. The discrepancy became even more jarring when compared to regional peers. He was drawing triple the salary of the Los Angeles city attorney, yet he was responsible for a city 37 times smaller. This was not a paycheck. It was a raid on the public trust. He refined the process, adding layers of bonuses and phantom stipends that kept the total climbing higher every quarter. The ledger, once a record of community investment, had become a private instrument for his own enrichment. He sat in his office, signing off on his own massive raises, while the city below him remained oblivious to the fact that their local manager was the highest-paid public official in the entire nation. The money for these massive payouts did not materialize out of thin air. It was pulled directly from the pockets of the people living in Bell. Rizzo needed a constant influx of cash to fuel his slush funds and golden parachutes, so he turned the tax code into a weapon. He pushed property taxes to the absolute limit, forcing residents to pay among the highest rates in all of California. Business owners faced a similar squeeze as he hiked local fees to feed his personal treasury. Families working low-wage jobs struggled to keep up with the mounting costs, unaware that their payments were not funding schools or street repairs. Instead, their money was disappearing into private accounts. He treated the city ledger like a personal bank machine, authorizing excessive pension packages for his inner circle and himself. He built a lifestyle of total luxury on the backs of a community that was barely getting by. Every tax notice sent to a resident was a direct transfer of wealth from their kitchen table to his private vault. The city was being bled white, not by external market forces, but by the very man hired to protect its financial health. The harder the residents worked, the more the city demanded, and the deeper the hole became. For 17 years, the theft continued without a single alarm bell ringing. This was not an accident. It was a carefully engineered silence. There was no local newspaper to track the council meetings. There was no vigilant state oversight checking the books. Rizzo understood that the most effective way to hide a crime is to make it boring. He scheduled public meetings at hours designed to ensure no one would attend. He buried every suspicious transaction under layers of dense bureaucratic red tape. If a resident asked a question, they were met with a wall of technical jargon and dismissive paperwork. The ledger was a fortress of paper, impenetrable to the average citizen. By isolating the city from the outside world, he created a vacuum where his authority was absolute. He operated in the shadows of the city hall, knowing that as long as the status quo remained unchallenged, the vault would stay open. He controlled the flow of information, effectively silencing any opposition before it could reach the light. The city was a ghost town of accountability, where every decision was made in the dark and every dollar was accounted for only by the man stealing it. For nearly 2 decades, the heist was invisible, hidden in plain sight, right under the noses of those who were paying the price. The silence finally broke with the arrival of 2 investigative reporters from the Los Angeles Times. They were not looking for Bell, yet their search for public payroll data led them straight to the city's ledger. They filed a standard public records request, expecting a routine document. What they found was a digital earthquake. The numbers were impossible, defying every standard of municipal governance. When the request hit his desk, Rizzo did not pivot. He fought. He ordered his staff to delay, to redact, and to obstruct. He treated the inquiry like a hostile invasion. Emails were ignored. Documents were locked behind layers of administrative hurdles. He threw every bureaucratic trick in his arsenal at the reporters, hoping to bury the data before it could reach the public eye. But the reporters did not retreat. They leveraged the law, pushing back against the wall of silence. The tension in the office spiked as the deadline for disclosure approached. Rizzo was running out of shadows. The paper trail was becoming a noose, and with every hour that passed, the impossibility of his secret became harder to contain. The struggle was no longer about money. It was a desperate race against the inevitable exposure that would tear his entire system apart. When the numbers finally hit the front page, the city of Bell shattered. The shock was immediate. Residents stared at the figures, then flooded the streets, screaming for accountability. The atmosphere shifted from disbelief to raw, kinetic rage. Thousands gathered outside City Hall, chanting and demanding immediate resignations. The state, forced into action by the sheer scale of the scandal, launched an emergency audit. The results were devastating. They uncovered millions in misappropriated funds, golden parachutes, and personal slush accounts that had bled the city treasury dry. The evidence was undeniable. Rizzo was stripped of his power, dragged before the courts, and indicted on 69 felony counts. The man who had once built a fortress of paper found himself behind steel bars. A judge handed down a 12-year prison sentence, marking the end of his reign. The city was left at the brink of bankruptcy, its resources gutted, its trust obliterated. The heist was finished, but the wreckage remained. The streets were quiet again, but the memory of the theft hung over the community like a permanent shadow, a testament to what happens when one man is allowed to hold the pen without anyone watching. The prison doors closed, but the questions remained echoing in the halls of government. Robert Rizzo was a singular predator, yet he operated within a system that was supposed to be a shield for the public. How did he hold the pen for 17 years without a single hand stopping him? The answer is not just in one man's greed, but in the silence of the room. When oversight fades and the public looks away, the ledger becomes a weapon. There are thousands of city halls in this country. Most are run with integrity, but how many others are currently being manipulated in the dark? The vulnerability of a local budget is a quiet, hidden danger. It does not crash like a global market or scream like a political crisis. It bleeds slowly, one line item at a time, until the treasury is empty and the damage is irreversible. We are left to wonder if the system is truly designed to protect the taxpayer, or if it is merely waiting for the right person to exploit the cracks. Keep your eyes on the numbers. Demand the records. Because the most devastating heist in history is never the one you see coming, but the one hiding in plain sight behind a desk.